Sean.
If Les Miles beats everybody but Alabama, I think he stays.
Creel.
Fuck Jolly Ranchers and fuck Sour Apple.
Hankins. Jesus Christ. We're going to lose this game. We're going to lose a game from 2007. Somehow, we're going to blow this.
Throw the flag. Tell them throw the flag.
Damn, these are some good sun chips. I should buy these more often.
Florida?
Georgia?
Florida?
No, my daddy coached the Dolphins.
I don't know if I really like sushi or if I really like soy sauce.
Ever heard of that Panther fan who growls in the YouTube video?
Hey, Saban, what about this?
Pants again, he don't give a damn. Uncle John's been acting strange. He ain't been right since Vietnam. Sweet home Alabama, play that dead man's song. Turn those speakers up full blast, play it all night long.
Episode 59. Throw the flag. I'm looking.
59.
I'm looking.
You know what's going to happen in 10, I suppose?
Let's start off episode 59. I have a correction. I have a Calvin Johnson correction corner on myself.
Wouldn't be the first time.
And
Son of a bitch. I just want to know, you opened this can of worms up. We were fine being the podcast that played fast and loose with the facts. You want facts? You go check somebody with a budget. We are not here for that. But now you turn this around.
it's on myself. It's on myself. And I honestly can't remember which podcast I said it on, but I referred to the Foo Fighters drummer as Pat Smear.
Sure.
It's definitely
Pat Smear wasn't even a Foo Fighter.
Yes, he was. Yeah, he was. He played guitar on a number of albums. Yes, he absolutely was.
I don't think Pat Smear was in any band. I think Pat Smear was just a hired gun for everyone.
That's what the Foo Fighters was for a number of years. It was just Dave Grohl and
yeah, exactly.
His traveling band.
But Pat Smear was also a Nirvana, to hear you tell it. No, I'm being just a dick. You're correct.
Anyway, the drummer is Taylor Hawkins. And Dave Grohl.
I can't wait for Jake Bentley to start next year so I can get that correction in.
We can go ahead and do it now. I was wrong. He's probably going to start.
He could.
With no, there's not even going to be I don't even think they are going to take another quarterback on the roster.
No, there will not be a position battle. Well, it is about a month after the regular season. Mm-hmm. And you know what that means. Time to find cheap, outdated jerseys like the one I'm wearing on eBay. I think I missed the boat getting the Ajay Dolphins jersey. I got the Trent Richardson Cleveland Browns one that I'm wearing right now for $10 on eBay.
Is that the Dolphins guy that posted those terrorist threats yesterday? Is that who you're talking about?
No.
Oh, I don't know.
That is the Dolphin that won the Super Bowl with
Eagles.
The Eagles.
Oh, okay.
The Dolphin you're referring to is the one that had the business with Richie Incognito.
That's
And who, was basically being tortured on the team.
Allegedly.
And allegedly.
You are
allegedly tortured.
Mm-hmm. I am just.
But now there's a whole thing as to, is that his actual account?
Right.
It's all very weird. Mm-hmm. It's all, and the fact that he tagged Incognito in the post that got him in trouble. For those who don't know, Martin is his last name. I'm blanking on the first name, but O-lineman. What's up? How you doing? Offensive lineman, former offensive lineman for the Miami Dolphins, who had all that trouble. Richie Incognito that I just mentioned, got in trouble for posting, I think it was like a gun and something about his bullets and his, and mentioning his old high school and Richie Incognito. So it reeks of a hack. But man, to the troll that pulled that one off, good job at trolling, because you figured out a guy who was not known enough that it would be obvious that he wouldn't do it, and who had some sort of, craziness in his past, so you might think, maybe he did it, or it's just him doing it. So
it all came
we
together,
wait.
and unfortunately, Sean could not find his jersey yet.
No, but I will be. I will be purchasing it.
You'll look great in that teal, man. You'll be sharp in that.
I think so too. I think I could pull teal off. Well, we have a short episode today.
That's what you think, because I've got a lot of stuff I've been holding on that I want to cover.
We'll get to the Hankins news dump in a second. The only thing I wanted to cover was something that our executive producer, Darren Kinnard, mentioned on Twitter yesterday, and that's moving Auburn to the SEC East, which I think we can all get on board with. Hankins,
sure you said just going to be short, right?
Hankins,
because I got a lot of thoughts on this.
You probably have the most to say, the most cogent argument. So let's start off with Creel, and you can.
Sure. I am against it.
What?
And don't give me this junk that they've got.
Give us a leader, not a loser.
They've got
we
more
want Turner Gill.
They've got more traditional rivalries with teams in the West than anybody else. It's not like they are so far east that it doesn't make sense for them to play in the West.
What are their traditional
They aren't like
rivalries?
They aren't Missouri having to go 600 miles every game. They're going 3-hour bus ride anywhere.
What are their rivalries other than Alabama?
They got LSU. They got those Mississippi schools.
Those aren't like traditional rivals. They play them every year.
Exactly, that's tradition, baby.
That is not tradition.
Every year is
just
a tradition.
like our traditional rivalry with A&M.
In that logic, every SEC West team has 6 traditional rivalries.
Baby. That's what the SEC is. SEC, SEC, SEC.
You know, he's turning me around, son. He's really turning me around.
Visibly annoyed right
now. To me, it just doesn't. I do get it. They're tired of playing Alabama every year.
Man, I'm tired of playing Auburn.
I don't think it's them. I think it's me.
There's too much bad blood. We need a break.
I don't really.
They are the Rachel and the Ross versus
them.
Rachel. We were on a break. We ain't on a break, baby.
We just need to get a monkey. Bring the fire back in the relationship.
And one of Phoebe's songs.
Marry a British girl, call her Auburn at the altar.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
Impregnate her.
I gotta tell you, I wait all day until 3 p.m. for American Dad to come on TBS because there's like 7 hours of Friends on before that.
Yeah.
That show does not hold up.
I think it's okay.
Does not hold up.
Well, why doesn't it hold up?
I don't think it held up for the 22 minutes that it aired.
On.
It's not funny.
It's pretty funny. You know, Chandler says that thing, and he goes like, "Whoop-ha!"
That one's pretty good. I like it when Joey says, "You can't do anything" afterward.
And that episode where they're trying to get that like couch up the staircase, and Ross is like, "Pivot." Yeah,
it's not funny, and
it's pretty funny,
and surprisingly homophobic and transphobic.
Yeah, but Monica likes to be clean and have things like
and fat shames people.
Well, she was kind of fat.
And it took him 6 years to get a black guy on there. And a black woman. It was Aisha Tyler.
Yeah, she didn't stay very long. She was there for like 4 episodes, and like they played her off. She's a doctor at Ross's museum. Come on.
And this has been a snippet of our new podcast, Friends of P Podcast, where they just talk about friends.
It's not a bad idea. There's like 200 episodes.
You know, it'll last longer than our Jay Moore experiment.
Right.
Shout out to Jay Moore.
But coming back to the argument at hand.
Back to Russ and Rachel.
So if it was like must-see TV, Alabama's on it, Auburn's on it, Texas A&M's on it, LSU's on it. You can't get out of that, baby. You're locked into that Thursday night must-see TV. You can't move to Tuesday nights on me. You're going to mess up the flow.
Mm-hmm. It's so true. That makes no sense. Hankins, what do you have to...
So here's the deal. I think there's a time in any relationship where it's just time to do something different. And we've hit a point with this rivalry where there is no joy in it, period. From either side. This is not a I'm on my Alabama high horse. This is super stoned, apparently. This is a stoned horse that I'm riding.
So this has...
But no, I'm not on a... This is a mutual beneficial plan for all of us. Because, A, you have no business having Auburn in the West. They're damn near in Georgia. Their traditional rival is Georgia. We can have an Iron Bowl if we want to, but I don't want to have one every year. I think the bloom is off the rose. If you win the game, great. If you lose the game, so what? If you're us, you're going to win a national championship. The everything is different. If they're in the East, then we still get to have an Iron Bowl. Hell, some years we might get to have 2 of them because we just play them on the rotating schedule. And I'm here to tell you, my wrestling background is shining through here because doing it every year is old and stale at this point. But man, imagine if it was once every 5 years. And you look at the schedule and bam, it's Iron Bowl year. We'd all be going crazy. We'd be so stupid excited. We'd be throwing babies. And just maybe we would enjoy winning the damn things for once.
The Hankins scale of excitement, sitting down to throwing babies.
Absolutely. Because if you're throwing a baby, dude, you have given up all inhibition and you have given yourself over to joy.
Creel.
You just toss a baby in the air.
In Hankins,
you're like,
Are you
whatever, I
catching
don't care.
The baby, or
no, you're flinging it across the...
You're not throwing it up.
Somebody
you're throwing it
else.
to the side.
Here's the thing. If you're excited enough to throw a baby, guess what? Somebody else is going to get the joy of catching a free baby.
Free baby,
so
dude.
it's
baby.
paying it forward.
In Hankins, for instance, their baby's just sailing through the air.
Absolutely.
Sold. Auburn's in the East.
Sold.
Orange and blue, crimson and white babies, they're in the air. Everything is better. Auburn still has Georgia. They play Alabama once every so often or when both teams get to the SEC championship game. We keep Tennessee. Everything's fine.
Something that
we
you're
lose
missing in this
literally
Hankins
nothing.
is that babies get to be thrown also.
They like
and
it, right? They like it.
Oh,
You get babies thrown. Come on. I mean, let's just do it, y'all.
I do have a
Let's just
follow-up
do it.
question, and I'm not playing devil's advocate, but if Auburn moves to the East, you just move Missouri to the West, just ease them in.
Absolutely. It's geographically so much easier on everyone. And guess what? And that's would have been what would have happened if Auburn and Alabama hadn't gotten together for once and said, no, we don't want to lose the Iron Bowl or the Tennessee game. That's the thing. Alabama has to lose Auburn or Tennessee in this scenario. I don't know what we're doing. The stadium's going to be full anyways for the most part.
Yeah.
What are you losing
And honestly,
in moving that game around?
Honestly, that also balances out the conferences. I know, programs have their ups and downs, and, LSU's at a down point right now. Tennessee's at a down point right now. The East has been pretty low for the past 5-6 years, but if you trade Missouri and Auburn, like, Vanderbilt's never going to be good.
Correct.
Kentucky's
Right.
never going to be good.
Sure.
Right.
Meanwhile, you have in the West any team that could be ranked number 1 for a number of weeks. Mississippi State did it. Ole Miss almost did it. Mm-hmm. In fact, they were 1 and 2 at one point, I think, a couple years ago. Auburn is always going to be in the top 15.
Sure.
And I just want to point this out. I'm not saying this in a time where Auburn is beating Alabama a bunch. Look at the last decade. Now, if I had said this after Tuberville is where he's from.
Come on down
Tuberville
to
from
Tommyville. We'll run for governor, then we won't.
But I'm not saying this in a time where Auburn was dominating. I'm like, I don't want to play them. It's not the playing of Auburn that is problematic. It's because that has gone our way as much as anything else has gone our way.
It's all risk, no reward.
It is all risk, no reward, because it's another game you got to win. I feel like we're supposed to win it, and I would hope and I believe that most Auburn fans feel like they're supposed to win it because each of us have this section of history to draw from and say, no, remember back in X time when we were kicking the shit out of that bunch? That's how it should be. So we're dead even. We're not proving anything by playing each other each year. Let's just bust this thing up, baby. Let's get back together after a while. Think about how excited everybody would be right now if Texas A&M and Texas had hooked up in a bowl game. You know how many babies would be thrown in that scenario? That's a 9-baby scenario.
Lots of babies, a lot of kissing in the stands, lots of push-ups.
Absolutely. I'm talking Alabama and Auburn's like a 14-baby scenario. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, let's split this thing up.
I kind of get where Hankins is coming from because when Friends first premiered,
oh my God,
Ross and Rachel were not together. Then they got together, and it was like, woo, 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 woo. Then they broke up, and they got back together. Then they broke up and got back together. Then they broke up for a while.
Can you imagine Auburn and Alabama
together.
meeting at the airport?
Right, and then...
Ross was a terrible father, by the way.
Yeah.
Both babies he had.
Mm-hmm. But then they
How
broke
many
up
of them
and
got
back
thrown in the
together,
air?
Broke
0.
up, got back together, broke up,
Actually, we don't know
Got
because
back
most of the
together.
babies were mostly off camera.
broke up, got back
Camera
together,
Camera one.
and then they got back together at the end,
Oh my god! At the airport.
at the airport.
I mean, we're at a point where one guy won't sing a fight song, and the other side says that guy won't sing a fight song. Both
Well,
terrible
technically,
things.
she did not make the
Wait,
bets.
what is this?
At the basketball game, the losing SGA president goes to the
God.
other school
Yeah,
and sings
yeah,
the
I
fight
know that,
song.
yeah.
But Alabama's SGA president, who made the bet, got dinged with a DUI, had to resign office, and so his
Oh yeah,
replacement,
the first black SGA.
the first
president.
his replacement did not make the bet, so she didn't have to sing the song, baby. Why is everyone all upset?
That's where we are, though.
Yeah.
My
That's
question-
where we are with each other.
My question is
It's-
also why are we so upset? Because who the fuck cares?
Yeah, and I mean,
I
we
wouldn't
are
wanna
at
go
a
to
you
a
got peanut
basketball
butter
game
in my
either.
chocolate. You got chocolate in my peanut butter type of place in our relationship.
I'm the left
Let's split
Twix.
this thing
You're
up.
the right Twix.
Split it up.
Man, you guys just want to throw away tradition. What's next? Cars, sandwiches.
Oxygen.
Yeah.
Not throwing
know.
babies.
Sandwiches?
Sandwiches.
Apparently,
tradition.
Tradition. I have one for lunch every day. I might as well try something new.
Like soup or salad or a
This
baby.
is not the angle I expected him to take.
Well, you done pushed my button, so I'm pushing back.
Creel pushes back.
Well, Krill, you were at the fucking Iron Bowl this year. Did
Uh-huh.
you enjoy any of it?
No, but that's part of sports. That's part of sports.
But no, I'm
Baby.
saying,
Baby.
let's say that we'd had a miraculous comeback.
Yeah, it would
And-
have been awesome because
I don't
That's
think it
sports,
would have been.
baby.
Krill.
that should happen every year. It needs to happen
Because-
once every 365, maybe once every 366, but somewhere along
Every
those
4
lines.
365s, then it's a 360.
I don't want it
In
every
years-
1006. I want it every 366.
In
Put it on a
years
t-shirt.
that in the past that we've beaten Auburn. Think about the victories over Auburn since the blowout that broke the streak.
Yeah, sure.
Right? Mm-hmm. How many times have you been jubilant? 2009, right? We had the comeback. We
Right.
still got national championship hopes.
That was
Absolutely,
pretty
that was a
exciting.
big
I
one.
was there, man. It's all about being a fan. All about being
And
a fan,
so-
baby.
Truly a
After
baby.
What excitement have you really drawn from that game since then?
There was that one year Trent Richardson had like some really good runs, you know.
Yeah, it was great runs, but the score was like 38-3 or some shit,
Yeah,
and it didn't matter.
baby.
And
Baby.
Sports, baby.
I mean, it was
kick
no
six-
different than
the
when we
kick
blew
six
out Ole
was
Miss
rough.
that year.
The kick six was rough, but that's the other side of the coin, baby.
That's the thing, though. For the kick six, I remember calmly closing my laptop and then going to bed.
yeah.
I wasn't mad. I wasn't angry. That's not what sports should be. That's why I don't want to deal with that game.
Well, what is sports
Yeah.
to you then?
Sports is winning 5 national championships and 8.
So you're
That's-
saying if we don't play Auburn every year, our odds increase?
No, I'm
no,
I'm
no,
not
no,
looking at
no,
it in any
no.
way,
No,
shape, or
I
form
think-
of that
I think-
because we're
I
still
think
going to
the
play them
season
in the
is
championship
more
game.
enjoyable if they are over in the East because
So you want them separated. You want them over there.
I want to keep them separated.
So like a whites only fountain over here for you. That's what we're talking about, right? Separate but equal. The divisions will
Separate
now
but
be
equul.
equal, and they will be separate.
Now that's something I can get by.
Colonel Rep, triumphant return.
He just ran by real fast.
Okay, good.
Oh man.
Well, I do wonder. I am curious of what other fan bases would think about it. What an LSU fan would have to say. What what a Vanderbilt fan might say. Maybe they like Missouri every year.
Yeah, I
don't
mean
know.
that's another loss every year for
It
Vanderbilt.
would be.
and
Vanderbilt and Kentucky wouldn't like it. South Carolina would beat them once out of every 6 years.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I think an annual Auburn Tennessee game would be interesting to watch.
a lot of orange in
certainly
that
would be.
stadium, right?
Tons of
And
orange.
I would not say this if Auburn was not already geographically Georgia. That is the other component of this. And Missouri wasn't geographically Colorado.
What if we split the divisions and did something even more dramatic, like a North and South?
What?
So Alabama, Vanderbilt, Kentucky, Missouri, Tennessee, and like South Carolina,
but then you have
and the
like
North.
a division of 4, division of 3 on each side. That's sports, baby.
But that is sports, baby. That is sports.
No, I mean, in theory, if there were equal divisions, I think that would be interesting. But that's actually what I don't like about pros. One of the things I don't like about the NFL, their jerseys are too expensive. Number one.
Until somebody gets traded.
Number 2 is that, I mean, your division is 4 teams. The AFC North is 4 teams.
Yeah, and you play everybody twice, so that's like 6-year games. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I prefer larger divisions where you're playing a lot more teams once.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Otherwise,
and some not at all, and you know, every few years you play. Like it's exciting when Alabama has Georgia on the schedule. It's exciting when Auburn has Tennessee on the schedule.
It's new. It's unique.
Because
we need
those
to get
are
some fire
Sports,
back in the relationship.
baby. You don't get what you want every year. That's sports in a nutshell.
But if you try sometimes, you just might find you play
Yes,
Auburn every
that's
year.
why I want to move Auburn to the east. Krill, you made my argument for me.
Yeah, I too don't want to sound like, you know, I don't want to play Auburn because it stands in our champion in the way of our championship.
No,
because I hate the game. I've come to hate the game. I used to have pride.
I have come to hate the game.
I used to have pride in the Iron Bowl being at the top 1 or 2 of like the best rivalries in football. And I would like grumble when the Army-Navy game was at top. Now, in 2018, sitting in front of my lifelong friend, Matthew Creel, I don't care. I don't care about the rivalry. I get ginned up about the game more so than any other game. I get nervous, anxious. I hate it. I don't want to play it.
It's just another game you have to win.
You have to win it.
You have to win the game.
Except for this year.
Except for this year.
Of course.
Yeah, exactly. But that proves the point is, if this was still the BCS, then yeah, I probably wouldn't have this sort of malaise about that game. If Alabama was not playing, and Auburn for that matter too, both of us are playing for bigger stakes now. There was a time when that was it. That's why the pride was so big, because neither team was really in the national picture most of the time.
Yeah,
winning the SEC was all it was, and beating Auburn was something you could hang your hat on.
Again, I mean, there's going to be a time when the better of the two is going to be, you know, a Citrus Bowl contender.
Yep, no doubt about it. But right now, as things stand, and in a playoff world, it's just another thing that is in the way for both squads every year. It's a thing that every year other people in their divisions don't have to deal with as frequently. So, I mean, that's just, and the fact that we hate each other, and it's not the good hate like sports hate. No, it's a different level of hate. As I've said on here a number of times, but most people that see this thing the same way that I do, that are on the other side, is I don't want to beat Alabama. I don't want to beat Auburn. I want you to not exist. Yeah. I want you to not be here. And that is where we are. LSU is a sports rivalry. I root for LSU in most cases, and I really still enjoy beating LSU. Sports rivalry. Auburn and Georgia, I believe to be a sports rivalry. I don't think that they want each other to go away. I don't want Auburn to have a football team. Auburn doesn't want Alabama to have a football team. And that's great. That says that we have taken this as serious as we should take it. But the next level in this fight is, let's shut it down. They've shut it down before. This isn't the first time. We've done this before.
I remember when Auburn got into the sacks trouble.
I wish I didn't remember that as vividly as I do, because it's very petty and ridiculous.
And, you know, they were in danger of getting closed down. I mean, it was never going to happen, but there was a possibility. Yeah. And I remember this was back in the day when I was very big into the scout.com message boards. Mm-hmm. And I remember reading from one of the moderators that was, you know, wrote for like BamaMag.com or something like that. It's like, guys, you know, we all have relatives that went to the school. You know, that's going to, you know, basically make their degrees a lot less valuable and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but then they'd be dead. Mm. The football team would be dead. and that's what it's come to. But I will still say I hate Tennessee more. I value a win over Auburn more, but I hate Tennessee more.
I used to be like that, and I wish I still was, but I'm not anymore.
Well, that's just because
That's
Tennessee
probably Butch
is
Jones' fault.
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's Butch Jones' fault. It's Derek Dooley's fault. It's Lane Kiffin's fault.
And Phil Fulmer.
And Phil Fulmer.
Yeah, the guy could not hire a coach, am I right?
God,
Struck out. Jilted at the altar.
just like
Groom still waiting at
Just
the
like
altar.
the episode of Friends when Ross was
got
and
married
Ross
in
and
that
Emily.
castle.
Ross and Emily said the wrong name and she got jilted at the altar.
oh my God, she was annoying.
She was British. Oi.
At sports, baby.
That's sports, baby.
Do you remember when Ross and had that Asian girlfriend Julie?
Yeah.
And man, Rachel did not like her.
No, because Rachel had finally got the hots for Ross, and then all of a sudden, Ross was taken by Julie.
Those two, man, they just can't get together. I tell you,
Kind of like Alabama Auburn, am I right?
so true.
Is that all we got on this subject?
I think so. Hankins, I have a running list of things that of complete tangents that I like to put in just to annoy you, or to start off an episode.
Where was Friends on that list? Number one with a bullet?
It was 1B.
Job well done.
There's a 1A.
I think we've said all we have.
Yeah, I think it's exhausting.
I think we've case closed.
Case closed.
Closed the case. Cracked the case. Do you remember the best deal that we ever got in our entire lives?
Was it that time we went to Arby's and they had like a 5 for $5 and then they gave us like double 5 for $5? Like
No.
more
Dope as hell.
roast beef and cheddar than we expected. We opened that bag up and
I will say,
it never ended.
I will say, Hankins, that two meats for two. That Arby's deal, it's like chicken and roast beef or something like that. It's looking good. That's an appetizing looking sandwich. Probably won't look the same when you go there, but
It's going to look
what was-
exactly like that, and you're going to get exactly what you ordered.
hashtag Arby's dope as hell.
So
No,
what was the best deal we ever had?
we went to it was the same time frame when we were at UA, and we went to some grocery store, and they were trying to get rid of their Brand X Diet Coke and Brand X Mountain Thunder.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Mountain Lightning.
Yeah.
It was 25 cents for a 12-pack.
Yes.
And
I remember.
it was literally 25 cents for a 12-pack. We loaded up my poor little baby 2000 Hyundai Accent.
Yeah. To the brim.
We were like scraping the asphalt driving back.
I think all that stuff had listeria in it or something. Like there was a problem with the distillery or something that day where they had to like get rid of everything. So that's why it was 25 cents.
we probably spent like $8
Uh-huh.
and got 32 12-packs. We were drinking that shit for months.
Yeah.
Great. I'm gonna tell my grandkids about it.
That
And they're going to
definitely
say,
was-
Pop, what are you even talking about?
Why are you talking
Now
to the
we
wall?
just interface.
We will interface, pop. Bring your slot here, pop.
slot.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You interface
That's
with
your
a
drink slot. Interface with your drink slot.
I interfaced with her drink slot, if you know what I'm saying.
I do.
I
In the
kissed her.
future, you provided her with a
Kissed
cool
her
beverage.
on the mouth.
For some reason, I have written down on this notepad file, the game's fucked up and I ain't got no friends. Spend my last $70,000 on a drop-top Benz.
That must be a
Game's
lyric.
fucked up and I ain't got no friends. I done spent my last $70,000 on a drop top Benz. Cause I'm a trill trying to put this 45 on his heel figure. Is that what you wanted? Was me to go into the the late Pimp C?
Oh, Pimp C's dead?
Yes, he's been dead.
Oh. Is it because he's a trill fella?
Because he drunk a lot of fucking codeine.
Aww.
I'll get you.
That's why.
I'll fuck up your
Codeine red, am I right? That's what
And I
they
just
said in
want
the
to,
hospital when they showed up.
I want to continue a public service that Pimp C did often in his life. Never in the sheets. Do it on top of the covers.
Drink codeine or be intimate with a partner?
Be intimate with interface with a drink slot.
Creel, is it all beverages that you like that are room temperature?
I will say, if you bring it to me, I'll drink it. Doesn't matter what it is. You can bring me something ice cold, steam hot. I'll drink it. If it's room temperature, I'll drink it.
Yeah.
I prefer room temperature. Like whenever I go to a restaurant and they bring me the food and it's like a sizzling, I'm like, no. Let this thing cool way down.
You do wait. Thanks for buying me dinner the other night.
I gotta have that thing like. I don't want to burn my tongue or my lips or my cheek, or if I drop it in my pants, like it burns my leg. Don't want that. Gotta let everything cool down just a tad.
So you don't like the pizza gets there, and you don't do that like thing where you grab a slice and you eat it, and then you're like.
I don't like to blow on the food, no, or blow it like my mouth. Yeah, I don't like any of that. I just like it when it's. I don't like that. Just never have. Got it.
You know what my least favorite sound in the world is?
What?
When somebody has like a piece of hard candy or a lollipop and they're just like jumbling it around. The taste of the sound of hard candy on teeth, I think, is the most disgusting sound in the world.
Yeah, you know what? I hate those Jolly Ranchers, man. Like, it's not a candy, it's not a gum.
I've cracked my tooth when I was like 6 on a Jolly Rancher, and then like 2 years ago I jacked up my teeth on chewy Jolly Ranchers because I stuffed like 7 in there and just went to town.
Do you remember like in middle school, like a teacher would like give some candy out and she'd have Jolly Ranchers, everyone would be like, I want this sour apple, I want this sour apple. Fuck Jolly Ranchers and fuck sour apple.
Yo, hey, Jolly Rancher, fuck
30 minutes and 33 seconds. That's the time cue I'm going to need later for when I pull fuck Jolly Ranchers for, some sort of audio use.
Timestamp. Eating ain't cheating. I actually do have a football-related gripe. I absolutely cannot stand when somebody on SportsCenter or whatever will say something like, this is the first time they've made the playoffs since 2016.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that means they didn't go last year.
Yeah, my number is 10 is passable, 15 is preferable on census.
Yeah, it's got to be that far back in the time machine for it to matter to you.
Yeah,
I get it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's like this is the first time he hasn't passed for a touchdown in a game since 2015. Okay, well,
maybe he's been injured. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not that big. And especially when they start dumping qualifiers on it, too. This is the first freshman running back in the Southeastern Conference to
do such on the road in November.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. You got a $1 billion stats team, and their job is to go find wacky stats. That don't impress me much.
That don't impress me much.
So you got the moves, well, do you got the touch?
That don't impress me much.
Well, that's all. I think that's all I have. I don't have any other.
Well, I got a couple of numbers for you.
Oh,
and you guys better duck your heads because you're about to be match playing.
It's fucked up when your mind's playing tricks on you.
Oh, you thought it was one thing? It might be something else. Your ass is about to get match played. 77,507 and 75,074. What are those numbers?
That is the total number of rushing yards by all Alabama running backs in the past 20 years.
Well, I gave you 2 different numbers, so you did not listen.
Those are the attendance records for the last 2 Iron Bowls.
Yeah,
which are not sellouts.
It's something about people in the stands, butts in the seats.
That's good, boys. That is very good. Those are your average attendance in the Southeastern Conference for the past season and the season prior. So current and one back, which is a dip. There was like a 2,000 person dip in attendance this year, which was echoed across all of college football.
It's amazing how like those Kentucky and Vanderbilt, like the smaller stadiums, bring down the 100,000.
Yeah.
Bryant Denny, the 100,000 kneeling.
Exactly.
Well, Hankins, I hate to be the bee in the bonnet here, but that stat wasn't over the last 15 years, as per what you said a minute and a half ago. So that don't impress me much.
No, this is a year-to-year comparison. That's what
Compare
I'm
me
doing.
to 15 years ago.
That's stats, baby.
Oh my god.
That is stats,
You know what?
baby.
I just got krill slammed. That's stats, baby. But this is echo. I'm getting a lot of this from Stewie Mandel's article on the Athletic. But there's a drop all over. The Pac-12 had the biggest drop of anybody.
It's because they play their games until 6 o'clock in the morning.
Right. It's not 6 o'clock in the morning there.
They
where
start
are.
pretty late. They
Those
start
time
pretty late.
zones, man. God, don't get me
Any
started.
guess? And this is outside of the match planning, and this is not a stunt. But just what do you think their average attendance is?
Pac-12?
Yeah.
I will say they've got a couple of really small stadiums. I'm going to say 48,512.
I'm gonna say somewhere around 55,000.
Creel was 18 off.
Of course,
Nailing it.
Of course,
But
of course he
for
was.
since 99, the number last year was 49,000 ish.
We're gonna count that as a stump Creole win.
Wow, yeah.
I'm going to
bring
count
it
that as
back,
a win.
baby.
Yeah, absolutely. But did you have a noticeable? Were we any less interested in football this year among us?
Doesn't seem like it, no.
Right?
I mean,
we did a podcast every week.
I remember after the Mississippi State game, quote, knowing we were going to lose to Auburn, and even if we won, then, quote, knowing we were going to lose to Georgia,
Right.
and then even if we won, quote, knowing that we were going to lose in the playoffs.
Sure.
Yeah,
That
we
we won
had
the
resigned ourselves to play Miami in the Outback Bowl.
So I was a little bit less interested because I felt like I knew what was going to happen with no
Right.
degree of uncertainty. But
And that was super late
there
in the
was-
year too.
Yeah.
So I guess the real reason I brought this up is to say this. This is Tennessee's fault, right? This 2000 is
It
completely
definitely
attributable
is
to Tennessee,
contingent
right?
on the butts in the seats in Knoxville, 100%.
I'm sure. Yeah, that's a really good point.
Because
That's
once
the only
October
reason.
rolled around and they were 2-6, nobody went to show up to
Oh my God.
when Tennessee played Missouri or Tennessee played Vanderbilt or
Yes.
Tennessee played Kentucky.
God damn, what a fucking dumpster fire
Yeah.
this year was for Tennessee.
Yep.
The trash can.
The trash can itself.
What did Butch Jones say at some press
Champions of
conference?
Life? No, he said
Champions
something
of
else
life.
stupid.
We
he
are
fell
the
on
life
a helmet.
champions, by the way.
Yeah. Yes, we are. He said that one player fell on a helmet
tripped
during
on the
practice
helmet.
when he got
there
in a
was no
fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was some.
There was something else really
it was
stupid.
when he went to that Memphis touchdown club thing and he said something that was touchdowns don't really
Touchdowns aren't as worth as much as
Butch
Oh,
Jones.
Leadership reps. Is that what you're talking about?
That's another thing. That's not what I'm talking about. But he no, there's a commercial appeal article.
I found it in commercial appeal.
I only name checked the newspaper so you would do that. Butch Jones comes to Memphis looking for love, is shut out again.
That's what a sad headline.
that is a very good headline.
Hard-dicked Butch Jones looking for love
Oh my god!
finds no drink hole to interface with.
It was right after he got blown the hell out by Georgia, and goddamn, and then they had that nail biter against winless UMass.
Yeah, that was a nail biter indeed.
It's really bad. Before Jones arrived, 3 Tennessee fans stood in the lobby talking about how quickly things had changed. Fan number 1, can you believe that last year at this time we were 5-0? Fan number 2, a change needs to be made. Fan number 3, I love his passion, but when all hell breaks loose, it goes to the head man. It's really something. I mean, they were in total disarray. Their trash can was their trash can was their Miami turnover chain.
chain?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And just an allegory for
for the.
It was everything. It was like some sort of voodoo curse had been placed on them. That no, you have to carry around this awful talisman, and you're not going to know why. Some voodoo priestess implanted it in Butch Jones' head that this was a good idea, all the while knowing how it would end.
You know, I can't even tell you how the Alabama-Tennessee game happened.
Marie LaFulmer.
Marie LaFulmer. I remember. Oh my! And the Tennessee player who did not score the touchdown, who flicked off the Alabama fans during the Alabama-Tennessee game. They had several players transfer. I mean, Jeremy Pruitt has his work cut out for him.
Absolutely.
Just Pruitt, baby.
Just Pruitt,
baby.
Put it on a shirt. I was re-listening to last week's episode. I am a total dick to Creel. All the time.
I don't know what your deal was about that fucking shirt that he came up with. That was brilliant.
That was a
Got
gem.
BO? We do. Mizzou Tiger football. While this is topical, and because this will be dead and dusted by the time we get back on the air.
Monica Lewinsky jokes.
Oh, yeah, that blue dress. Am I right, guys?
Blue?
That's presidential scandals, baby.
So the big FBI report against the NCAA basketball has come out. They named some people. Sabata. I want to talk about two things. The first one being this. What do we think as a Smodcast about vacated titles?
Oh, yeah. Because they took away Louisville.
Louisville.
Yes.
Yeah.
Louisville
or
Louisville.
Louisville? Hey, we're three guys in a car. Hey.
I mean, unless it has something to do with we're three guys in a car.
The commercial with Charles Barkley and not Wesley Snipes, the other guy.
Oh boy.
Nope, I'm not helping you.
No, the
Believe
Lovie
me,
Smith.
you'll know if it's Wesley Snipes. So
Lovie Smith and Dino Babbers.
No, they're in the
Dino
car.
Dome?
It's the stupid ones that have in March Madness, and that's when they had the Louisville conversation because that was like the gimmick.
Speaking of black basketball players, I saw Antoine Walker on the TV, not in person yesterday. He's gotten big.
Speaking of black basketball players, redundant.
Oh my God! Did you see the fan who shouted at the Blackhawk fan that shouted at the Washington Capitol?
So how many shouts are going on here?
The Black Washington Capitol player said, "Go back to basketball." They got kicked out.
It was Chicago Blackhawks also, but whatever.
Vacated.
Correction.
Vacated titles. Like we only have
So
USC is the only one that I know of. Right off the top of my head. That's not to say that there's not one in the Wayback Machine.
Specifically with titles, unless it has to do with recruiting and paying like a pivotal player to, like, if Auburn paid Cam Newton and Nick Farley and somehow
then they got a steal of a fucking deal.
Unless it was like a pivotal player
then we
that
shouldn't have been
single-handedly won a national championship, then we know who won it on the field. And even if it is in that case, we know who won it on the field, on the court, on the cricket arena, whatever the hell they played cricket on, the pitch.
The pitch, I will say if the vacation was 15 years ago, it's off the books. That USC one is 14 years ago. It was 2004. Still on the books.
Still on the books.
So after 15 years, they no longer have that title.
That's your rule, Hankins.
Oh, wow.
He is giving me the business today.
He truly is.
So, I don't it means literally nothing to me. Like less than nothing. I guess historically, when some kid is Googling, or not Googling, I don't know what they'll call it then, when he's interfacing with his mind bank in 74 years, he won't see that Louisville. That's good. He won't see that Louisville won a title. So yeah, I mean, I don't understand what the punitive nature of it is. Is it just rubbing your nose in it? Is that all it is?
I think it's in the record books. I mean, Penn State was hit with the. Penn State was basically.
Penn rate.
Thank you. Was the program was the perpetrator of arguably the worst thing until Larry Nassar, and
at least now they're just tied.
And not and not only did they take away future chances at success with bowl games and scholarship, etc., they went back and they hit Paterno's win total retroactively, which means everybody considers that a punishment. Now,
I guess
if we find out that every single running back, every single defensive back on Alabama was signed illegally, was paid, whatever, and they take away 5 championships. If they take away 1 championship, deem us ineligible last year, say, I'm still gonna put it on a shirt.
Yeah,
oh yeah,
you wear that shirt for 15 years, and then it does not matter at all.
The 92 team that we all love so much lost every game, right?
It was the year after.
Yeah, it was 93.
Was it the year
93.
after?
Yeah.
93, okay. So the team, okay. But
because of Langham?
So, yeah. Langham signed a napkin. They all signed a napkin. But it's the weird thing, it's usually in sports, it is, I think for me at least, it's if it happens to somebody else, I'm all about driving a stake in the ground. Look at that. But if it happens to me, I'm like, oh, whatever. I think it's just the opposite. In this case, like if they take away somebody else's title, I don't care. That's still your title. If they started taking my titles away, I'd be having a French fry freak out. I'd be having a fit.
French fry freak out. Is that what they do on Fridays at Arby's? French fry freak out?
Yes. And that's a line from, I believe, 90210. I think is where I got that from.
Oh, my God. The new one or the reboot?
Oh, no. OG, baby. Straight OG. Oh. But I brought all that up to say another thing. Jay Billis, shut the fuck up. Just stop with and anybody else who the first thing you say when the light gets shined on basketball to show that it's dirty, when the first thing you say is football's doing it too, duh, first of all. Second of all, quit snitching. You don't tell on me. You told on yourself, then you told on me. That is wrong. Stop being a damn tattletale. Shut up and say whatever you got to say, but do not bring football into this. And quite frankly, I believe that this might be an effort to hurt everybody. But I think they understand that football is too strong to go after financially. So they started throwing rocks at basketball because it's a warning shot. Like, hey, look, seriously, guys, we're not playing around about this anymore. If you're going to not pay these players, you're definitely going to pay us some tax money on these transactions that are going through. But, yeah, basketball, pipe that shit down. Don't bring us into this.
Does this is this the same like Adidas stuff?
Yeah, it has gotten much bigger.
Okay.
It focuses on the shoe companies that were representatives and like super agents that like they got a hold of a bunch of records that show you pick any team, Alabama, Auburn are on the list. Colin Sexton is one of them. That they met with this agent, and in some cases they had dinner. In other cases, they had some plane tickets bought for them. In some cases, they got a loan.
In some cases, they went on a Pontiac hood together.
In some cases, they were on a Pontiac hood together. And in some cases, like Arizona, they have the head coach of Arizona wiretapped discussing a $100,000 payment to ensure that player X went to Arizona. All these things I don't care about personally. I want to make sure that is clear and present. I don't care about any of it. But if you get caught with your hand in the cookie jar, don't tell these niggas I got crumbs on my chest too.
47 minutes, 48 seconds. Don't tell them I got crumbs on my chest too. It's good. I like that a lot. What flavor vape are you vaping right now?
Oh, it's always from the good people in Sylacauga, Alabama, Conecuh Creek. Southern blend plus vanilla, except no substitutes.
Is there like a ketchup flavored vape?
There probably is.
I would imagine there is. Mm-hmm. There's at least one in Japan. Oh, konnichiwa, ketchup.
like episode 59. This can't be the first episode you've listened to, so go to ttfnetwork.com. Give us money if you like what we do. Bye.